All right, off the top of my head, I don't write this down. I go with the emotions and I go with the flow. Rent or buy, Final Fantasy 16. A lot of people are hating, but I know why they're hating because they barely played maybe 2-3 hours. Because I'll start my story. I started this game 2-3 days ago. Um, where do I start? A friend of mine wrote to me. I was 2 hours in, and I'm like, man, this is boring. This is not Final Fantasy. This is this. This. I was pissed off. I felt more like another game and everything. There was a lot of cutscenes and not a lot of action. There's 2 hours of like nonstop cutscenes, and eventually you're like you don't care anymore. You just want some action. And yeah, for hours and hours, like a lot of cutscenes, you're stuck. It's how can we say I forgot the word. Very linear, whatever the word is. I don't get to practice my English much. Uh, just like Call of Duty. Back in the days, Call of Duty, you only had one way of exploring a level, right? Final Fantasy, same thing. When you started, you only stuck one way. You go one way, and that's it. I'm like, man, this is kind of boring. And I was like, no open world, no nothing. And after 10 hours in, the game opens up, the story gets better, the main character you just really fall in love with, and all the characters, you're passionate. And when bad things happen, you get passionate and you get angry and you get pissed off and it's just insane and you really get attached. So, to all people that gave it a bad review, play 10 hours, then it gets better. 10 hours. I'm 9 to 10 hours. I promise you, it gets so good like nothing you've ever experienced before. Where I want to go, you got a Game of Thrones type of story, and you got a Attack on Titan type of story mixed up. If you watch this, Attack on Titan, you watched or you played, Game of Thrones meet Attack on Titan is basically a story, right? So the story gets better and better and better. It gets really dark and really insane. Like the main evil, I think it is. Like I'm doing this review and I'm 20 hours in. Apparently, to complete the whole game is 70 to 80 hours. I'm doing most of the side quests because the side quests give you way more input on the story and what you're living. You're living in through a story of slavery also. It's really insane. Like all the branded people that have the tattoo are treated like shit. Anyways, I don't want to go deep into that, but it's you got to do the side quests. Some of the side quests, man, it's this one part where this boy is using his wolf on two slaves and they're eating the people like he's letting his wolf loose and having them eating the slaves. And anyways, I don't want to go deeper into it, but it's really dark. All the side quests are really in. I'm losing my words. I'm losing my words. It's really like a lot of goodness and a lot of it inputs a little bit more of the story every time you do side quests, and it's just insane. But the main story gets better and better and better and better. I'm losing my thoughts. Then the open world kind of type of thing opens up, like some very vast places. The boss battles are insane. Yet again, Attack on Titan powers. You get it later on with boss battles and fights. You do acquire an upgrade tree that is insane to do. It's really fun. But along the way, you acquire powers of the elementals without any spoilers. And the more elements you got, like at the point I'm at right now, my character is like invincible and it's just insane. And I could just kill a whole army of like 60 guys in 5 seconds, but it's so much fun. And the gameplay battle wise, at first you don't have a lot of powers and it's kind of you just mishmashing a bunch of buttons. And you always have your dog, and I'm always pressing up. That's the part I hate, is when you press left and up, you're using your potions. So I'm always pressing up to send my dog to attack and everything. But like I was saying, the gameplay battle of this game feels like this. You get what I'm saying, right? But way more overpowered than this. This is insane, right? Bayonetta 3, if you got at the end and all the powers you have, you're really strong. So you're stronger than that. You're stronger than Bayonetta. Either way I said it, I'm going to get corrected. But yeah, it's just insane. You're overpowered and you have that Devil May Cry Bayonetta gameplay style of fight, but a little bit more. Way stronger, more powers. At 3 powers, at 3 elementals right now. Eventually I get 4. You can see there's a pattern. You can get more than 4. I'm not sure, but I'm saying it. But the powers and the gameplay, it feels like a Devil May Cry more. And you only using one character, because back in Final Fantasy 15 you could switch back throughout your party. But the open world and the gameplay wise had the Final Fantasy 12 vibe to me. Kind of feels, I love Final Fantasy 12, finished it, played it and everything. You got a little bit of Crisis Core feeling to it too. But yeah, the Final Fantasy 12 open world type of thing map, eventually you're going to get into it. You're going to unlock more. You're going to have more space. Don't get bothered by the beginning of the game. Like I said, it's just, don't base it on that. Just play more. You got to pass 9 to 10 hours. Then the game opens up and you're like, wow, this is fun. The crafting is really easy. Weapon upgrades also. I have a ton of cash and I barely bought anything. But the gameplay wise, I don't want to disappoint people of the past. If you played for 1 to 16, all the Final Fantasy, back in the days it was a turn-based thing. We had it on the original Final Fantasy 7. The remake one, we had the new style of gameplay, kind of like Final Fantasy 15. I would say Final Fantasy 12 brought the new gameplay style. I would say 12. Because at 9 and 10, I don't remember. Because at 9 it was still turn-based. 10, 11. I would say 12 brought it. But 16 has, like I said, a Bayonetta, Devil May Cry type of fighting style, but way more overpowered and way more fun. And you're not just button smashing, because you gotta be, how can I say, precise with your moves, kind of. But you are button smashing. But when you're doing boss battle, you really gotta think your moves. R1 you use all the time. You could probably press R1 all the time. R1 is basically the button to not get hit or dodge. Dodge. My words, I'm coming back. To dodge, R1. But you can't dodge everything. The other part I didn't explain is you have 3 amulets you can equip. Like, I basically kept the 3 amulets from the beginning. They give you power up in your fighting style. And I basically kept the one to control my dog, which I like to send for attacks. And the other one I have is, it tells you when to dodge. So very, very useful. So it freezes down really slow and then it pops a big R1. So it helps out in battle. I really like that. Now I don't want to spoil all the power-ups, but yeah, and the story. But you got, like I said, a very nice Attack on Titan meets Game of Thrones kind of story. It's very it's very dark, man. The whole family thing and everything. Like, you get really pissed in the story when all the good guys are getting it. Like, they're getting killed and all that. In the beginning, you'll see. It's really Game of Thrones, but the whole family tree thing, his mom, man? What? Right at the beginning, you'll see. I didn't spoil nothing. It's in the beginning of the game. His mom? What? His mom did all that? Kind of. But it's not the main evil, but the whole family story thing, oh man, I kind of... Anyways, I'm sorry, but it's there. It's in the beginning of the game. I don't want to get hated on, but I don't want to compare it to other Final Fantasy. It plays like a new thing. And I don't mind the cutscenes and everything. It's such like a beautiful movie. The settings, the soundtrack. When you go in the ruins the first time, when you go to that super boss battle giant guy, it's just, wow. The soundtrack, the settings, everything. I'm not finished. I'm 20 hours in doing this review. Apparently 40 hours to complete the main story, 80 hours to complete everything. But like I said, do the side quests, because it gives you a little bit of XP, a little bit of money, but it gives you way more understanding of where you're playing in. Like, way more content. You feel more what the character's feeling. Like, it's hard to base a game on slavery in 2023 because a lot of culture and a lot of people lived it in the past. And that's it. And yeah. So love you all. Have a great day. I don't know where to go with this, but you gotta give it a try. Put in the hours, 9 to 8 hours, 10. The game opens up. It's an unbelievable experience. Like, it's gonna get you. It's gonna get you. It doesn't feel... They have a new approach of gameplay style. Do I miss the turn-based thing from back in the days? Yeah, I can always go back and play Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and 3 on the collection, like the turn-based stuff. But I like the way where they're going. I wish we had the possibility of having the Final Fantasy 15 thing of switching and controlling other characters like you have in... It has that Xenoblade vibe too. Xenoblade Chronicles. It would have been nice to be able to switch characters. That's my only thing, but just using your main character, holy crap, man. So much fun. So many powers. So yeah. At first, I was gonna down this game, but you gotta give it the hour. I didn't like it at first. I really didn't like it. I was like, man, this is just Devil May Cry and you're stuck in cutscenes and all that. But give it some time. It's gonna grow on you. And you're gonna love it. So if anybody watched this video, hit that thumbs up. Support the channel. And that's it. Have a great day. It's Tuesday, I think. And we'll see you soon. Nothing else. Oh yeah, this week we got Joy-Cons coming out Friday. No other new game though. Until next week, I think. See you soon.